How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Unrivaled Projectile NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode Series. We're back today on NASCAR Heat 5 after a few races in F123. Heading to Charlotte this race, and we should have a really good car here at Charlotte. We've been good here in the past. Let me see here. Yeah, that's definitely going to be our best car to go with. We need to start working on the long track car for Bristol Dirt next race, and then we've got our short track coming up after that. I think I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the aero to a 95 max, and then I'm going to look to see if we can make an upgrade. No, we cannot. That's okay. We weren't going to gain much out of it anyways. It would have been for that car 1, so we'll just move on. Stuck on F1 navigation still, but yeah, we're going to have really good car going into Charlotte, which has been a good track for us. I'm going to show you guys still on that legend difficulty, and still doing 13% races, so don't want that. I'm going to save, and I'm going to do some practice, and I'll meet you guys back for qualifying. Alrighty, so I ran quite a while in practice. I think it's been right about a week since I've actually been on NASCAR Heat 5, so yeah, it's definitely been a while. Lost the groove of some things. However, I got within, what is that, 8.5 tenths of the goal time. So don't think that's too far off of what we had been doing. We seem to always have better race pace here, so hopefully that translates. But we'll just kind of have to see. It also is really weird only having 2 gears and not 8, as I have been doing for the past couple videos.
Just like in practice. Qualifying count here. Here we go.
No, I'd really prefer to do a little bit better than in practice, but we'll have to see how that turns out. I actually think we do a little bit better without the practice line than we do with it, and that's a really good lap for us. Puts us in 14th, so not likely to go out and get that win. But as we locked up last time, we do have a win in the bank, putting us in the playoffs. More than anything now is just run consistently, so we've got enough points towards the end of the season to be able to contend in the beginning of the playoffs and make it to Eldora for that championship, where we've shown that we can be quite dominant. So yeah, consistency is going to be key. Putting ourselves as high up in the standings is going to be really important, and then running well in the playoffs when we get there is also going to be really important as well. So in traffic right now, just not run great laps. Try it, get on the brakes there early, just to get back down to the bottom. And we're even getting into the brakes some, which we were not really doing in qualifying or practice, but try to help control the car a bit more. We are getting on the brakes. Cars to our inside still, and this is going to be a struggle with these mid-pack cars. Everybody keeps going to the bottom where we'd like to really run here, so that was making all that tough. Now we just gotta make some moves, get back down to the bottom, and hopefully make up some spots here. Goal of at least a top 10. I would have said top 5, but with how we got shoved around there at the beginning of the race, I don't think that's going to be possible. But I do think if we run consistently here on the now closing laps of the race, we should be able to pull off 10th. So you can see there we're getting better with our throttle control to help us maintain where we're at within the corner, not make as much contact there. And we're going to try to run down this group in front of us. We run wide there, so it did not set us up well. And when these cars get under us, really it's just get on the brakes so that they can go back past us and we can get a good corner in. So doesn't look like we're going to catch this group in front of us. However, a top 10 is still going to be pretty good for us here. As long as we don't do anything too stupid here and the final corners. Does look like we're going to be able to bring it home in 9th place. So a solid showing from us there. You got the 100 speed rating, so we'll pack it up and head to Bristol. Alrighty, so $5,000 added to our bank. Get moderate driving and another 20 fans. Didn't complete the incentive contract, but we knew that was pretty ambitious anyways. So now we move. We've got a truck hot seat race. Hopefully we have a better showing here than we did at Texas. If you haven't seen what happened there, definitely go check out what was that? That was our last Heat 5 race, so what is quite comical now that's in the past. So going to jump into some practice. We'll bring you along with us here. Iowa,
You're clear on pit road.
I believe, is a track that, at least in this game, is only for the trucks. Maybe Xfinity races as well, but I believe it's just the trucks. Personally, for me, it gives me a lot of Richmond vibes. So, just kind of taking it easy right now, seeing where we're going to need to adjust. Really just let it coast to the corner. And we're just going to try to get some laps done to see where the pace of the car is at. I don't want to be too heavy on those brakes. I don't know if I need to change my feedback settings or what, but especially in this game, the car gets really loose whenever I get on the brakes. So I'm sure there's adjustments I can make to change that, but I'm not sure where those are at and how to make those. So starting to run a little bit more aggressively here. Lots of off throttle time to
Car on the outside now.
keep everything pointed straight. And running the outside and a wider line going this that corner is definitely going to be key here. You don't want to be pushed up against the apron getting into the corner at all, because otherwise it just compromises that entry a lot. So let's see here. I also want to take a look. We are burning up our right rear, which is really interesting because I still feel tight. So usually that would be a sign of the car being really loose, but I'm not feeling loose at all. So I'm going to bring it into the garage, mess with some setups here, and see what I can come up with. That's not what I want. I keep going back to the F1 buttons. Maybe I just need to change them in general. I'm going to increase our right rear tire pressure. It's going to make it harder, but it's going to wear slower. I'm also going to try to drop the track bars, just see what that does. I'm also going to try to drop our brake bias a little bit, be able to get into those corners a bit more aggressively.
Back in there. Let's go.
So that the car doesn't snap getting under the brakes. So see how this feels. Again, we'll pay attention to some tire wear. It'll kind of help guide us here. It's feeling a little loose off the corner, I think, just based on that initial impression. Felt like we were able to carry more speed there through the corner, but we'll have to see as we come back around and get our time. No deltas on the screen as in F1, unfortunately. That'd be really helpful, but just not there. I think even iRacing, which I've debated on getting into as well, has some of those deltas in practice. I've never dabbled into any iRacing, but something I'd like to get into eventually. But I figured for right now we just need to focus on being able to be competitive in the
Got one inside.
beginner levels, essentially, against the AI before we try to go up against some live people. So yeah, I'd like to get that into some of that further down the line, but not at this point. We may be, I want to guess we're probably about 6 months to a year before I dabble into that, at least from the perspective of making episodes. I may dabble in it before then, just get a hang of it, kind of know what I'm doing before I start recording. But then again, it might be kind of hysterical watching me try to figure out iRacing
Farther on the inside.
for the first time. So, as I'm not sure who that is, but someone blew a tire right next to us.
Got one inside. Got a car low now. That car headed
Everybody's slow in front of us now. Still burning up that right rear. So I'm going to go back to the garage. We're going to make some adjustments. Let's see here. So we're going to go up on the wedge and down on the right front tire pressure. Try to get some bite into the corner. That setup definitely ran better than the stock setup. They're able to run some better lap times there. But we'll have to see how this setup feels being way overtimed essentially. So you can kind of see there, took forever for us to get point back straight,
You got room. You're clear.
but does feel better off corner exit for sure. I'm not sure if braking or just letting the car coast is a better option at this track. I think the corners are almost wide enough that braking into them is a little bit counterproductive. However, I feel like we could get into the corners a bit more aggressively if we braked. So, man, need to find a way that we're not chewing up the right rear, but not so tight through the center of the corner. It's really bad right now.
Car outside. Hold your line.
Feels like a dump truck in the middle of the corner, just wants to go straight.
Outside.
Still burning up that right rear more than our right front, which
Got one
is
inside.
really, really odd here. You don't often see it like that. Usually your setups are way too tight. Here they're just... That's usually a key indication of too loose of a setup is it'll just eat the right rear away. So it looks like messing with some of those tire pressures have helped, but still not great here. We're still over 20% different between the two. Between the front and the rear, if I can talk. And maybe it's a setup that is going to be better on the long runs, because it is starting to feel more comfortable, but even then, it's not fast by any means. I mean, we're still struggling, so I can go back to the garage. We're gonna make a few more adjustments here. Not that. We're going to keep going up on the rear tire pressures. Try to make that thing a brick so it lasts longer. Go up to a 50. And we're just going to take a wild swing at this thing. Try to get that right rear to last longer. And hopefully so we can get the car to turn a little bit better in the center of the corner. So we'll run a little bit longer here.
Let's go.
In practice. And then I don't want to run too long in practice here though, so I think we definitely got tightened up. There's no stability from what I can feel from the right rear. The front feels like it will turn, but the right rear is a basketball, so might have to back that PSI off just a little bit before we head into qualifying. That felt like a really good corner there. We'll have to see what this lap time is. Otherwise, this is shaping up to be a decent setup. Slid up a little bit in the middle of 3 and 4, but it's really close to our best lap here. Still waiting on the throttle quite a while. However, I think it's more manageable than what we were doing for sure. Getting running high at 3 and 4, couldn't keep on the bottom quite as long as we wanted to. Not as good of a lap there. I think in general, if we can stick it right on the bottom,
Got a car low now.
not going to happen in this corner. We're going to be better off than if we run that second line. Still not a terrible lap, but not by any means a great lap. So let's check in on the tire wear. It's still burning through that right rear, so I may make some adjustments to help loosen the car up and just max out that right rear tire, because it does not seem to be getting any better, and I need this car to turn a little bit more than it's giving me. So
That car in front of you is coming to
I'm gonna try switching camera views here. See how it looks going into the corner. It doesn't look that loose, if I'm being honest. It looks a little bit loose, but not burn your tires off in a short run type loose. So much different driving from this camera view for sure. So we driving in hot there. Got to the throttle too early there. Somebody else blew another tire. We're just going to bring it back to the garage here. see what we can do here. We're just going to max out the right rear tire pressure. Drop the right front as much as possible. We didn't want to back out of that. That's not what I wanted at all. We accidentally skipped there. So we're going to have to take a brave swing here, going into qualifying, and really just hope for the best. See what we can come up with here to hopefully give us a better lap time that's not going to chew the right rear tire, and hopefully doesn't absolutely just spin us out as well. It feels better. Now I'm sure as we overdrive that corner, it's alright though. It's not going to be a good lap. I thought we had saved it, but no can do. Yeah, we need to we need to make some adjustments for the race. We're going to start in last, and really just see what we can do. Main goal is to not do what we did last race. Again, go watch the last NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode Series video if you haven't already. We're going to go down on the track bars, up on the wedge, and we're just going to hope for the best here. Need a top 25 to complete the hot race incentive.
Almost ready.
So let's see here.
Got one down low now.
We do not have multi-stage racing on at the moment.
Inside.
So 26 laps to the end. We have 15 laps of fuel, so at least one pit stop here.
Got a car low now. Careful, still there.
And we do not have pace. It doesn't look like. Definitely going to have to stay on the bottom if we have any shot at all here. Hopefully we can get that top lane to come back towards us, but still fighting some looseness in the car. I should have messed with some more of that track bar. It is very loose off. Essentially that's where the car is over rotating as it gets back onto the straightaway. Run high there, and yeah, this is going to be more of a struggle than I thought. Especially with goofy setups like this where the car is just constantly loose. Already you can see that right rear wearing faster than the right front, which is going to be a no-no zone here for us, especially as we get late into a run. It's going to make the car extremely loose especially coming off the corner, and it's going to be all we can do to keep it out of the wall when that happens. Can you see there? The back end kicked out on us. I'm not sure you guys could see that, but I could certainly feel it. Getting some more of it there. Everybody's just driving away from us. So, see, we had 15 laps of fuel at the beginning of the race.
20 more laps. No mistake here.
We've got 20 laps to go. So maybe the strategy is to or not. It's going to be a long way to the top if we keep racing like this. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. And I knew it was going to get like that towards the end of the race, later in that run, but yeah, couldn't find the setup for the car, so we'll move on back to dirt and hope for better in the next truck race. Didn't complete the hot suit offer. Austin Hill wishing us good luck. And moving on to Bristol dirt. I'm going to go for 3 top 5s in 4 races. I don't think we're good enough to get the 4 top 5s, but I do think we're going to be really close on the 3 top 5s. So even with the road course thrown in there, we should be really close. Prep the short track car for next race, and let's see here. Prep the road course car as much as possible. And we'll throw Doreen there on the short track car. Let's see here. Let's try to upgrade Mr. Santos. I want to get him up to a 10. We're going to get both our suspension employees up to a 10. And that should help us in the long run. We've been struggling to get those cars maxed out, but that should help us in the long run. Now probably saving up for the suspension department upgrade, so need to save up 18,000 for that. And we're going to move on to Bristol dirt. I'll do some practice and then meet you for qualifying. Alrighty, so I got within 8/10 of the goal time here. So going into qualifying,
Let's go.
let's see, 16-1, which we were not anywhere near. But I think with how I have this car set up, it's really going to be good in the race. I can stay in the throttle almost constantly, and we're able to get a really good drive off here. We can run just about anywhere and be able to control the car. So under, what is that? We were 8.5 tenths off, puts us in 16th. So a lot of work to do still for the top 5, but only 10 spots, and I think we can get it done if we have a good race here. So we're gonna head to the race.
All right, you're coming to the green. Be ready. Green's out. Car high. Careful. You're all clear up top.
Just dropping it down low here.
Rewind now.
Someone somehow goes up our inside. We're going to get back inside of him though.
Stay on the bottom.
Definitely going to be
Outside now. All clear.
rubbing on some people to get these passes done. But that is NASCAR, and that is definitely some dirt racing. So keeping it right on the bottom here. Getting this car set up so we can drive it right off the bottom really well, or even go up to that top side, get the nice run down the
Still there.
straightaways, and still be set up well. So this could end up being a really good track for us as well.
Car on the
Now I don't
outside now.
remember, is this track in the playoffs? I don't remember really. If it is, it's one of the first, and it could be really good for us.
Great lap.
So we got
Inside. All right, you're clear.
what, coming up on 8 laps now. 8 laps now to get up to 5th. I can see 5th currently. And if we run consistently, we may be able to get up there. So I think the setup that I found here kind of lends itself to our driving style. We get passed for 8th.
All right, you're clear.
So
Looking inside now. Car there on the inside. You're all clear on the bottom.
still fighting for position back here, which is unfortunate. Not going to be able to get to 5th place with these battles
5 to go. 5 to
unless
go.
we can get a caution, which we just did. We were running high, so I'm not sure if that was us that caught them or if it was someone else. But we're going to not pit. We're going to start down on the inside, which is really good for us. And we're going to go attack up front. Only going to have a few laps left, which is going to play to our hand. Only 2 laps to go.
2 to go. All right, you're clear.
And it's going to play to our strengths really well here. A little bit of chrome horn there, getting into turn 1. Need a good run down this backstretch and a really good last lap to be able to pull this off. We just don't quite have the speed in the middle of the corner, hence why we need to
Will be extremely pleased with the top 10.
upgrade the suspension. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but there was a massive flip behind us. I'm going to find that in the replay system and let you guys watch that here if I can find it. So give me just a second. So here is the clip I am talking about. This is a wild one. I don't think... Okay, so we clipped Hoffman getting off the corner, and then he goes for a wild ride here, barrel rolling down the back straightaway, and that is what ended the race there. So didn't get quite the result we wanted there, but it's going to be good enough, and we'll head back to the main menu. $6,400 added to the bank, and moderate driving gives us decent savings on the car there. So another truck series race, which is going to be good for us. Need a top 22 at Pocono, so tough track, but we're going to go into it hopeful. The thing that we're going to really struggle with here is the fact that it has really long straightaways, and we know the car is going to be lacking some speed. So just before we even get into any practice, I'm going to go ahead and drop some of this wedge out. I'm going to save the setup and see what sort of pace we have here at Pocono.
Back in there. Let's go.
Pocono, for you guys who don't know, is maybe one of the most unique tracks you have ever seen. If you look at the mini-map down in the lower left there, Pocono has only 3 corners, called Tricky Triangle. The straightaways are all 3 different lengths, and all 3 corners are different. So turn 2, which is what we just went through, is what I find to be the hardest corner. It's also known as a tunnel turn, as the tunnel to get inside the racetrack runs underneath that corner. So it makes it quite tricky there. Then we've got the long front straightaway. Cup cars will reach over 200 miles going down into this first corner. Long sweeping corner that I'm not sure how quite driving the trucks, but we'll figure it out. Then yeah, this next straightaway here, I guess really technically I'm not sure what that straightaway is called. I think this would technically be considered the back straightaway. This is another long sweeping corner. Really all about throttle management through that corner. Slow time with our low contact with the wall. So heavy on the brakes. They're trying to figure this out. So we bring it into the wall here. I'm going to head to the garage and make some adjustments. Let me see here. Again, it's burning up the right rear from what I could see there, which is really just so odd. But I need the car to turn more, so I also need, I'm going to try to take more brake bias out of there, and we're going to go with that for now. I know it's probably not wise to loosen the car up more, especially after what we just did. But I want to be able to make it through this first corner without dying into the outside wall of turn 1 like Jimmy Johnson when he had his brake failure here. What was that? 2017, I believe. But we're too loose right now, I think, as that makes turn 2 really tricky here. Lots of off throttle time here. I'd like to be down by that yellow line through that corner, if at all possible. But again, just messing with setups at this point. The draft is also going to be huge here. We're going to need the draft of the cars in front of us if we're going to make it through. Car is super loose, especially under braking. For those of you who don't know NASCAR, the draft is essentially just the slipstream in F1. There's less drag on the car, allowing you to go faster. And when you get a pack of 40 cars in the Cup Series or 32 trucks here in the Truck Series, the effect can be quite massive. So let me see here. We're going to go back on these adjustments. Just going to try to find something here. I'm going to go down on the brake bias. I'm not sure if that's the right move. We're going to go down on the wedge though to help us be able to get through the corner.
Okay, get back in there. Let's go.
My guess is if we're going to DNF ourselves here at this track, it's going to be by either getting loose off turn 1 or completely sailing it into the outside wall into turn 1. If so, I will find a clip and try to input that in the video of Jimmy Johnson, his wreck. I think it's 2017 that he smacked the wall, and it really just changed his racing career forever. So but yeah, if that happens, I may still input that back when, or I'll add to the end or something. Going down the brakes, it makes the car so loose, and we're so tight, no chance of getting through the corner. And this is when I start to wonder if I need to learn more about setups. So, yeah, because way too much off throttle time through turn 2, and not able to stick it down by the line like I'd like to be able to. In turn 3, you saw there at the center of the corner, it just got up and left. So give me a couple minutes. I'm going to do some research, try to get this truck set up better for the track. Alrighty people, I've got a little cheat sheet in front of me. Let me see here. For the tight in the middle of the corner, we need to soften the, nope, not that button. We need to adjust our spring, not our rebound. So our right spring needs to be softened. Let's go a little bit there. Let me see here. Du-du-du-du-dum. Give me just a second here. I haven't really taken any time to read through any of this, so I'm just kind of making. Gosh dang it. Kind of reading this as I record and taking some swings at this. Definitely saving this image to kind of give me a better idea for the future. More positive camera. We've made a couple of adjustments there. Let me try that out some.
Okay,
And see if we can feel a difference. Really, my main goal is just to have a decent driving truck and not die again just a few laps in. So I at least want to make it to pit stops. That'd be nice. So we haven't gotten to see what pit stops are like, but
Got one inside.
definitely feel like we turn a little bit better overall. We go into that corner way too hot. The left front sway bar is supposed to increase my turn in, but it's going to increase my tire wear. But that's okay because our right rear is still wearing more than the right front. So also going to, I know we've not raced well in this mode in the past, but we're going to give it a try. Try to kind of visualize how much steering input I'm giving it as well. I'm not sure if I'm really giving it enough steering input compared to what I need to be. I think that's somewhat because of how the force feedback on my wheel is set up. I think I need to adjust some settings there. So, because if I get, if I start turning too far, I think it's just signaling to me the loss of grip, but then I lose force feedback, and it makes it really weird getting back into it. So, I think it feels better, but not good enough. Let's head back to the garage. See what I can do here. I'm going to go up even more on these cambers. Let me take a look-see at what else I can do here. In general, I just need I just need the car to turn better, so me go to the front sway bar. I want to lower it. We're going to take a big swing at it. We'll go there. See if those adjustments help us out at all. It may drive worse than before, but at least we're trying stuff out to try and make the truck somewhat better. I think also to... Ooh, we've got... The car will turn now. I'm not sure how well that went over and the recording, but the car turns now, guys. So I think another adjustment that we're going to make is an adjustment to the grill tape. Try to run it more closed off. We are way too loose now. Extremely loose, actually. So let me see what we can do here. We're going to bring these back to more conservative numbers. See if that helps at all. Otherwise, we will mess with the sway bar some more. What was I saying? I don't even remember. I just want to be able to run a race without dying. I think we need to go back up on that sway bar again. We'll drop each of those a tick. Really, I'm just basing off the feel of turn one. I think if we can get through turn one, we can manage it through turns 2 and 3, but let me see here. I'm going to try to drive turn 1 as smoothly as possible, no major wheel jerks or anything, and see if it will stick. If not, and it gets loose under, so we're going to have to brake going into turn 1. I'm almost sure of it. Scratch that. We're going to have to make more adjustments here. You guys are on the crash course with me here today. If we need to, we can always go back to default setup, I believe. So, that is absolute last resort, if need be. Not terrible. I think we can make that work if need be. It's going to take us forever to get through 3 dirt races this episode, but I don't think it's going to compare with our first F1 race, so it's alright. Really, it's just battle back to the throttle coming out of turn 3. Who can get their car to rotate best at the center of the corner? Here is going to be the real test, is getting down into turn 1 here. I think if I'm more aggressive on the brakes there, I didn't really get into the brakes at all. I think if we give it a bit more brake pressure, we will be okay there. Excuse me. So we look at our tire wear. Yeah, I think our right rear is going to absolutely just jump off a cliff, and we are likely to spin out and die once that happens. However, the car turns, so we're going to keep it as is as long as I can get into turn one better. If that's the case, I will be happy enough, and we'll just manage. We're getting loose there. However, it's not the worst we've seen. So, I'm going to... thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my cheat sheet on brake bias, and hopefully that should help me. Yes, I need more front brake bias. Which means we want more brake bias so we can control the car better. So I was moving that the wrong way, I believe. So we go back the other way. Let's see what 80 does. We're going to just take a massive swing at it and see what it does for us here. Let's go out here.
Alright, dig.
That feels better, I think. Let's get around the track and go back through at full speed. But I think that the setup will work, I think. Let's see here. Let's be way overdriving into turn 2, but that's okay. See here, turn 3, get into the brakes a little bit. Get a good run down this front straightaway. Oh, I was also going to increase the grill tape, so that'll be another adjustment that we make here. We can definitely work with that brake setup. So I'm going to turn a lap here just to see what we're at with this setup. This should be our best lap yet. Theoretically, as long as we can not make any major mistakes. But no promises there. Just want to get a good run out of turn 3. And it is not our best lap, surprisingly. But I'm going to return to the garage. We're going to not adjust the front camber. We're going to go up to 50% grill tape. That's going to allow less airflow into the engine bay of the car. It's not going to cool the car as much, but it is going to make us faster in a straight line. So we'll have to see how that works out for us. We are going to keep an eye on our engine temp here. As long as it doesn't get too high, we are going to try to run it at 50, and that's going to help us with our overall speed. And it may be a little bit different in the race, so that's always something to keep in mind as well. And we may be able to even go up a little bit more. Let's turn a lap here and see where we're at by the end of it. Not great getting into turn one. Definitely need to enter lower there to manage a good lap and a good corner. See, we're getting up near 230 in the straightaways, but the corners where we're not on the throttle, it cools down some. So I think we could even go up to 55% on the grill tape and be okay here. Manage to throttle a little bit. And it's still going to be a slow lap time due to that mess up into turn one. I'm going to try this again. Enter lower on the brakes. Quite a bit harder. Still running up, but I think we're going to adjust that with some wedge, not worry about any other adjustments here. So back to the garage, going to make some small adjustments here to the wedge as well as to our grill tape. Let's save the setup, and we're going to just jump into qualifying. What is done is done. Goal time is at 57, so really I think that's a second and a half to 2 seconds slower than the goal time in practice, so maybe we've got a shot at it. We ran a 58 something, I don't even remember, so may have a shot at this as we head out to Pocono for the first time without the practice lines. So luckily, I know this track somewhat well, can kind of guess what we need to get back onto the throttle. And sometimes I wonder if that practice line is a hindrance to me, just because I try to match what's saying too much. So getting down into turn one, just trying to keep it down along the bottom here, not let slide up the track. Not too bad from us there. Definitely our best turn one so far. But not great. Almost 30 seconds in now as we are. Into the brakes just a little bit for this tunnel turn. Get a good run off into the straightaway. Shortest straightaway on this track. And back on the brakes just a little bit. Partial throttle into full throttle coming off the corner. And it's going to be slow, guys. It's going to be really slow. Up near a minute.
Let's see where that puts you.
Yeah, not a great lap time there. But we are not in last, which is really good. So, hopefully we have some speed for the race. But yeah, we have to make up 6 spots during the race, which could be hard here. but we'll see what we can do. This is also, I believe, going to be a shorter amount of laps
Coming to the green, driver.
that we have had in some of our other
Green out, let's go. Car down the inside.
races. So let's see here. How many laps do we have? We have 8 laps and 8 laps in the tank. There might be some strategy that we can play here.
Stay high.
If we can just manage the fuel and tires, we may be able to stay out long and not have to pit here.
Clear.
But that being said, we need to save a lot of fuel to be able to make that happen. And likely have to stay with the draft in order to make it happen. We get a little tap there. And almost wreck it again.
Inside.
We run high and 3 here. Gotta get back out of the gas again. And we need to hang on to this draft if we're going to have any chance. And we have lost the draft. So now our best bet is to just conserve as much fuel as possible. Land out of the gas super early. Hoping for no cautions here if we're going to pull off this strategy. Really, we're just conserving the car. Hoping for it to go all the way green. And hoping that we can save enough fuel for us to be able to pull a no pit stop strategy, and hoping that the AI do have to pit here. So this is what we get into as we enter into the paved tracks for NASCAR heat races, as we can play some strategy within our races where with the dirt we cannot at all. So again, just let it coast forever. But I think with 4 laps to go, I really want to be able to make it all the way down this back stretch without dropping. We're even looking halfway decent right now. Just dropped to 5, so we're definitely starting to save some fuel and just don't wreck it, and try to keep up as much as possible while saving fuel. That's the other thing. We can't let them get too far in front of us, in which case our fuel savings is negated by the fact that they're just running faster, in which case they get out of the pits in front of us because we are just that slow. So yeah, not looking great. We could have gone up on the tape even more, I think. Maybe to like a 60 or 65. However, this is stuff that we took into the race. Maybe we should have run some practice laps there with the improved grill tape. However, it is what it is. Car's starting to get looser for sure, especially on the exit of the corners. We'd only dropped the 4 laps left going into that last corner, but the leaders are in the entry of turn 2, exiting turn 2 really already, as we're in turn 1. They're entering turn 3 as we're exiting turn 1. So it's really going to be a drag race whether we can make up enough time compared to the AI with saving fuel here. And really the fuel savings is just coming from lifting so much in the corners so I can get the car to turn. Don't wreck here. Need it to stay green for sure. Just dropped to 3 laps, so we're getting really close here. Going to be able to save the fuel that we need, but really it's going to be about the pace of the car compared to those AI pit stops and keeping it out of the wall as the car is starting to get extremely loose here. Don't know if you guys could tell there, but it was really hard to hang on to there. As we go into turn 2, the leaders are really starting to gain on us now. They're entering turn 1. And we just have to hope that pit stops are starting soon. Don't spin it here, keep it on track, don't bring out the yellow, as getting into turn 3 is really tricky. It's quite a bit flatter, especially like turn 1. Turn 2 is pretty flat as well, but we need to be able to have 9 spots, as it looks like we had someone not be able to finish the race here. The leaders are on their final lap now, but I do not see many takers down pit road, so it'd have to be on the last lap, in which case our fuel savings is going to be negated. And really, I don't think we have done enough to be able to catch up with them. The leaders right on our tails here with their last lap. Car ended up being really loose here at the end. That's just burning up those rear tires. So, unless we get some back markers that run out of gas, or their pit stalls aren't so far forward that they cross the finish line, we have no shot here. I don't see any takers down pit road, so the AI were able to save enough fuel as well. So we bring it through turn 2 for the last time. A little drifty there, and we're going to make it through a truck race, but at the expense of absolutely humiliating ourselves. A course penalty here, as we nearly spun it into the infield, and we're going to finish in 31st position. We made it to the end, but it was not very pretty, so we're going to move on, go to our last dirt race for the episode and see how we do there. 12 more fans. Wasn't expecting much there. Ben Rhodes sends this compliment there. I don't know if we'll make it into the truck series with how we've performed so far in the truck series, so yeah, it's been challenging to do anything here. Almost made a mistake of prepping the wrong car for Texas, but I'm going to, let's see here, just going to move to the long track car. I want to get the road course car ready as well, while also starting to work on the long track car for Fanatec Fairgrounds, and apply our last person to the short track car over there. Start our work. Going get the 195.95 car for Texas, and I'll do some practice and meet you back for qualifying. Alrighty, so we were able to get within what, 4.5 tenths there. So running really good here. See,
Go, go, go.
we're not going to be able to hit that qualifying time. Let me think here. What times was I setting? Our best was a 15.5, so not going to hit that
Coming to the green. This one's
15 essentially flat, but we should run well here. Guess we've got about a 10th place qualifying car. No, that was a bad lap. 15th for qualifying. I'd say overall we have a 5th to 10th place car. Starting in 14th on the outside. I'm going to loosen the car up just a little bit. I think we ran a little bit better in practice with the looser car.
almost ready.
So we're going to try that and see what we can do while I get to the bottom here. And we are able to, with that 100 engine power, slid up the track like we did not want to do there. Going to get on the brakes, get back to the bottom, sit on the infield grass some, back on the brakes to get turned there, being bumped. We're sitting in 9th right now. And I always forget if this is our good short track race or if it's Charlotte. They're very similarly laid out. I get the feeling that it's gotta be Texas, because even with a bad qualifying spot, we are able to drive through the field when we are not getting body slammed. That kind of changed the tone of the race. We were running down the leaders, I felt like, and then mass chaos broke out. So need to try to work our way back up to a 5th place here. That's going to be tough to do with this big group of cars here. So we are running decent laps here, not great laps, but decent.
All clear. Got a car high now.
Man.
Are they on your outside?
I think we can get up to 5th, but it's going to be a major battle to get there. And we cannot have any mishaps
5 to go, 5 to go.
such as that. So we slide up,
All clear.
get
On your outside.
throttle put back down there. Need to get up to those 2 cars that are fighting up there. 2 red ones. One of which I think put us in the wall.
Car outside.
And we're going to have some lap traffic to play with, it looks like here, land the race as well. 3 laps to catch those 2 and try to put a pass down. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Those guys look very, very quick compared to us, especially after we've had to work our way through that big chunk of cars back there. So Unless one of them has a major mishap with one of the lap cars. It's not going to happen, but we are going to bring it home in 6th. Kinda, I think that's where we finished our last dirt race as well. We didn't really have the car there like we did here, but a 6th place, it's going to be fairly decent here. We got 100 speed rating, but we'll bring it back to the main menu and wrap it up. $5,400 added to the bank. Moderate driving helps out there. Did not complete our incentive contract, but that was going to be tough to do. Let's see here. We have Jefferson, Fantech, Fairgrounds, Richmond, and Drebin next. We're just going to stick with the 3 top 10s. It's not as good there. However, that's what we need to do. This is just for the dirt series. I was looking for a truck series right in there, but it's just the dirt series in there. We're going to go ahead and sign our work for the week. Arrow, and definitely going to be our strongest road course car that we've had so far. We may need to look at another long track car before a department upgrade. Depending on what we bring home from Jefferson, we will need to, what's this, 18.5, we need $5,500 to get a 5th car. That's going to be close. If we wouldn't have upgraded those employees earlier in the episode, we would have been able to do that, but we can't. And let's kind of get some of these cars started on. So start to work there. Not much that we can do to earn any extra money. 3 races till the playoffs. We'll go to the season standings. We're sitting in 4th right now, and just overall standings, and then 4th as well for the playoff standings. I think we'll be okay. Going to make it into, I need to see what races are in the playoffs. Let's see here. So do we have 4 races going into the playoffs? It looks, or into the final race. It looks like it. We've got Drebin, which we're not great at. We're not doing as bad there. Jefferson, we still need to see how we're like this season. Same thing with Fantech Fairgrounds. Charlotte, we're not great. We're not terrible. So hopefully we can hang on to our standings there. Before Eldora, but that's going to be it for today, guys. So let me know what you thought of the episode. I know it's going to be a bit longer with the 2 truck races in there, but yeah, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next one.